What's up everybody and welcome to the channel. In today's video we are going to be doing a detailed installation of the Armaspeed cold air intake on the Audi RS3. Now you guys have seen me install this intake on our car before, however it's become a very popular product and Armaspeed and I have actually worked on developing this to fit the most up-to-date RS3s. So we've been going through a few different renditions of different fittings as well as different pipes. This was a tester, this is the original version for older model years, and then of course we have the newest one now. So I figured I would do a detailed installation step by step. This is a full carbon fiber kit, so it is a little bit of a tight fit, and I've found kind of the perfect way to install this perfectly. So basically, we're gonna go ahead and do a full detailed close-up and everything. So of course you have your nice big Armaspeed airbox, got the air filter as well, and then you're gonna see we have the intake tube itself, got the breather hose and everything, and then there's going to be a duct up front, as you can see, and then the new elbow fitting. Now this is super critical. Now, when you go ahead and order your kit, there's going to be two different versions. You're going to have the V1, looks like this, and the V2, which looks like this. Now make sure you order the correct one for your car, or you're gonna have to order a replacement elbow. So as you can tell, one of them has a fitting like this for a silicone recirculation pipe. The V2 has this updated one to fit the corrugated plastic one. Now, what do I mean by that? So this piece right here. So our car is a 2024. From what we've seen, most 2024s are gonna have this corrugated pipe going from the throttle body to the air intake itself. So on our car, this is the stock part. So as you can see, this matches the V2 perfectly. So we spent a little bit of time developing this and getting that perfect. So when you make your order, if you have this corrugated plastic recirculation pipe, you need to order V2. If you have the silicone one, you're gonna be ordering V1. So the first step in this process is to remove your factory air intake. You're gonna pop your engine cover right off, and then taking the intake off is super straightforward, so really nothing crazy. The only thing you're gonna wanna notice, there is this little piece that will be attached to your airbox. Pop it off, and it's really just gonna kind of sit out of the way. Now, from here, the first order of business as to install this Armaspeed kit, we're gonna work on installing the duct. So this is the updated one. It's gonna fit really nicely in here. There's these metal pieces that will go underneath the stock plastic. This will just slide in here pretty nicely. And then from here, you're gonna take two of the longer screws this kit is gonna come with, and we're gonna attach this into place. Now these little holes will line up very nicely with the hole in the car. So we can just get that in with my fingers and then move on to the other one as well. So at least now we have a little bit of wiggle room. Next up, we are going to install the airbox. Now I would recommend go ahead and install the air filter first because it's a little bit of a tight fit if you do it after that. Now on the bottom, you're gonna see these three rubber grommets. You're gonna take the ones out of your stock airbox and install it onto this Armaspeed one. And from here, we are now going to slide this into place. Might need to move that hose out of the way a little bit. And then we will kind of butt this up with those rubber grommets along with the duct up in front. Now this is a little bit of a tight fit, so you're gonna wanna make this opening of the airbox go on top of this duct, and then just kind of line up these rubber grommets. So these grommets, you might need to wiggle them down a little bit. There is some movement. And there's one grommet in place. And then the back one, you kind of need to bend down a little bit and then push it forward as well. And again, it's a pretty tight fit. So you really gotta kind of wiggle it. There we go. I just kind of click this forward a little bit onto here. As you can see, it is a little bit farther forward. So again, it is a tight fit. Just gently wiggle it every which way. So with those two pieces all installed, ready to go, it is now time to install the elbow. So with my car, we have this new one with the corrugated pipe. I found it's a lot easier to go ahead and install that fitting before putting this into the air filter, just because it makes it a little bit easier. It's kind of an awkward angle getting these screws in. Now you can use your stock screws you took out of the stock part, or the kit is gonna come with two black ones for here. So you might need to twist it a little bit, go very slow, that way you don't pinch the green rubber gasket. And as I twist it perfectly in place, I'll just kind of let it sit like that and then carefully install these screws. And with those installed, I can now slide this whole elbow into the air filter. Just makes it a little bit easier. You don't really have much leverage to twist this into here once it's installed. And then we can go ahead and just tighten up the hose clamp and get these connected. So from here, we're gonna install the carbon fiber pipe that connects directly to the turbo inlet. You're gonna see the breather hose, a little bracket, and it's gonna come with a silicone coupler. So I've already gone ahead and clamped it onto the pipe and added the second hose clamp. From here, we're just gonna line it up with that bracket on the bottom side, right onto that turbo inlet. Just slides on perfectly, and you can wiggle this over to line up with the metal bracket that you would have removed with that stock intake. And then lastly, we're taking the stock rubber corrugated joint with both of the hose clamps on it, and that is gonna connect these two parts. And given this is flexible and we haven't tightened this one yet, we still have some wiggle room. So we'll go ahead and slide this one in place and then kind of bend this down a little bit to get it around that elbow point. And then we can go ahead and tighten these clamps down, as well as put the screw back in this bracket from your stock kit. Now next up is to install this breather hose. So you have the zip tie clamp from stock we're gonna kind of line it back up with, along with getting it into that crankcase spot. So clipping that in place and then getting that zip tie back together. And then if you cannot get this screw in this bracket back here, honestly, don't really stress it. It's a hard reach for your hand, so it's not the easiest bolt to get back in place. Most intakes don't even have a bracket, so honestly, if there's a little bit of wiggle, if you can't get this in, don't worry about it. It's perfectly secure, and it needs to flex anyway with the engine twisting, so you're good to go. So there's the intake all installed. Now from my original video, this is an updated duct as well as that elbow, and you might be able to see this big scratch mark on the airbox, just that white line. That's from the previous design. So they've updated this a little bit to fit better, but now this is fitting perfectly with these screws installed, as you can tell. Only thing that's a little tight is this corner right here. You might scuff it a little bit, so probably put some tape or something, but be a little bit gentler than me, worst case. But nonetheless, that is all installed nice and tight. This is all down. Elbow is secure into that air filter, and we have that new fitting all perfectly installed. So that is the step-by-step way to do this. Install it in that sequence. If you do everything and try to do this last, or install the elbow and then try to install that to that, honestly, you're gonna be fighting with it. So do it this way. It is the easiest way. So everything is good. I did not get that bolt back in just because it's a really tight squeeze for my hand, but once again, it is perfectly good. And then lastly, let's pop this engine cover back into place. Everything clicks like normal. Fitment is spot on. And there you go. That is the Armaspeed carbon fiber cold air intake for the Audi RS3. Now this fits all the RS3s and TTRS models, all the 2.5 liter engines. Just remember, once again, I sound like a broken record, order the correct elbow. If you have the corrugated pipe, you want the V2, this new fitting. If you have the original, the silicone pipe, you're gonna order the V1. Now, one thing to keep in mind, I have seen some people with this corrugated pipe, it be slightly different in size from other cars. So the aluminum fitting on this carbon fiber elbow, possibly you might need to take a Dremel and just smooth out the inside a little bit. So it seems like these corrugated pipes slightly could differ from car to car. So just be cautious. I would do a test fit before you go ahead and install everything. Take that corrugated pipe, put a little bit of grease on that rubber O-ring, that way you don't damage it, and gently try to wiggle it in place. Make sure it fits perfectly. If it doesn't, just smooth out the inside of the aluminum part and it should snug up perfectly and fit well. But there you guys go, full detailed install. It looks great under the hood, full carbon fiber kit. I'm really impressed with Armaspeed's design and everything. And from my testing, this gives you the same intake air temperatures as stock because we have this nice sealed box. But of course, you're gonna get the awesome turbo sounds, and with tuning and other things, you're getting much better turbo flow. So there's a full detailed step-by-step installation of the Armaspeed kit. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, stay tuned for plenty more content, and check out the link below to order this for your own car.